All right, moving past that, as you know, the Orange Filth has a date tomorrow in Judge Juan Merchan's court, where he will be sentenced. And the judge has said, I'm not going to put his ass in prison. I'm not going to jail him. Not going to fine him. I am going to sentence him. And I can only imagine what the sentence is going to be. But Trump has tried his goddamnedest to avoid this, like he has avoided everything in his life that consists of even 1% responsibility for the bum's actions. Well, one of Trump's filthy disgrace to the legal profession lawyers, a scum bum named Mike Davis, decided to issue some really shitty threats against officials involved in all the investigations and all the prosecutions of this filthy pig who's going to be, perhaps, President of the United States in 11 days. And this pig, Mike Davis, who claims to be a lawyer, he warned Judge Juan Merchan that he, too, the judge, is going to face legal consequences. During an interview on another one of these right-wing pig shows, podcasts, whatever it is, Mike Davis, the bastard, said that Judge Merchan should prepare for a probe, a possible conspiracy against rights violations for the decisions he made while presiding over Trump's fraudulent trial that resulted in 34 felony convictions. Convictions not imposed by the judge, convictions imposed by the Orange Filth's fellow citizens from New York. But never mind the niceties of the legal system. Trump and the scum bastards who represent him stomp all over legal niceties. But anyway, Davis said, quote, I would say this to Juan Merchan, you better also lawyer up because what you're doing is also a very serious federal civil rights felony. So, Juan Merchan, you can go to hell. Lawyer up, buddy. End quote. This is the kind of filth that not only surrounds this orange son of a bitch, Donald Trump, but this is the kind of filth that is going to be making decisions that will affect you and me for the next 4 years or however long Trump lives during that 4-year period. That is assuming that he takes office 11 days from now. Now, those comments from this pig, Mike Davis, came after Davis told the host that those who were prosecuted for their actions on January 6th, the rioters, the treasonous devils, should, quote, absolutely bring civil lawsuits against Biden's prosecutors who pursued charges against them, end quote. And he added that Trump's Justice Department should make no effort to defend the people in the Biden administration who honestly actually believed in the U.S. Constitution and honestly actually tried to respect the rule of law. This piglet, Mike Davis, a Trump maggot lawyer, is suggesting that they not even get legal representation, at least not from the Justice Department, which is where it should come from because these were actions taken by the Biden administration during the time that Biden was president. Oh, but wait a minute. What about the Supreme Court ruling that said that Biden, any president, is above the law? Mike Davis, you filthy asshole, you. Are you not aware of that? Woo! So, this moron, Mike Davis, added this. They should not indemnify them. They should not pay any federal funds for what these prosecutors have done. They should let these prosecutors get sued in their individual capacities and have to hire their own private lawyers to defend themselves, end quote. And then who's this guy? Who is wait a minute. Oh yeah. The host of this little piggy show, this Benny Johnson. Anyway, Johnson noted that from the civil perspective, quote, this could mean the destruction of the people who did this. This could mean financial, political, and personal destruction of the people who did this. Am I repeating myself? I mean, these aren't just idle threats. End quote. So the little scum-sucking Mike Davis maggot lawyer added, God willing, they should face severe, and I mean the most severe, legal, political, and financial consequences for what they did. And it's going to start January 20th at noon. Oh, Jesus Christ, these Nazis. Oh, these Nazis. Oh, my God. And then as for Judge Juan Merchan is considered, this little piglet, this maggot lawyer, Mike Davis, said the judge, quote, really stepped into it legally by putting in place an illegal, unconstitutional gag order. End quote. That was when Judge Merchan, of course, barred Trump from attacking witnesses in the hush money trial or revealing information about jurors so that Trump's maggot Christian devils could harass the jurors, the court staff, their families. That's what the gag order was about. And then this little maggot creep who somehow got his grubby little fingers on a law license, then he added this, there are so many reversible errors in this bogus New York case. And then he included, this Mike Davis did, what a piece of shit this guy is, he included another attack on Judge Merchan's daughter when he said this, quote, Donald Trump is supposed to be distracted from being the president-elect so he can go to this third world Marxist hellhole courtroom, even via Skype or video, to let Juan Merchan scold him? Juan Merchan with the Democratic governor? I'm sorry, daughter? End quote. Well, these are the people that 75 million Americans said, yeah, we want this kind of government. We don't want democracy. We don't want morality. We don't want decency. We don't want anything that the Jesus rabbi from Nazareth preached. Fuck all that. We want muscular Christianity. We want the kind of Christianity that's kill, beat, slam up, lie, cheat, steal. That's the kind of Christianity we want. And apparently, these 75 million Americans who voted this way, either they had no idea what they were doing, or they did it consciously and really don't deserve to be in this country. How in the hell could anyone who has an understanding of civic decency or the rule of law or just acting like a proper citizen, how could anyone who has those understandings vote for a piece of human destruction like Donald Trump? There's something just fucking crazy here. I wish I could understand it. I wish I could understand beyond the idea that these are just assholes who voted for him, who have no fucking concept of our system of justice, the Constitution, what we're about. They have no historical sense. If somebody went up to one of these Trump voters and said, this country was built on the backs of black people, they would look at the person saying that, what the fuck are you talking about? Or if somebody went up to one of these Trump voters and say, when Trump talks about, for example, he's going to take over Mexico, a third of the United States used to belong to Mexico. So when he talks about the Gulf of America as a change of name from the Gulf of Mexico, what the fuck's he talking about? The entire Southwest, including California, used to be Mexico, you dumb son of a bitch. Now, if you said that to one of these maggots, he would immediately take offense because you called him a dumb son of a bitch. But to have any sense of history? As a matter of fact, I read the other day that at one time, early on in the history of this country, that the Southwest, including California, was referred to as, I think, I read this right, the United States of Mexico. Until the 1840s, of course, and then that came to an end. And now Trump is talking about taking all of Mexico and Greenland and Panama and God knows what else. Trump is trying to emulate, at least with his little tiny filthy mouth, the guy who he really admires, Vladimir Putin or Adolf Hitler.
Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.